Lights, camera, action.
It really definitely recorded that.
That's gonna be the
That's
first
the
thing you
first
see
thing
when
that's
you
what
start
I'm
tomorrow. Lights, I gotta get my smile ready for my
Yep,
athletic.
let's camera action.
It wasn't recording. She's got recorded to watch herself and see if she can do it. She's paired.
Make sure. All right.
Wait, so you're gonna have to show them that she recorded in class. So they're gonna see.
No, they're not gonna watch it.
Oh,
I
okay.
just have to like write a paper about it. All right. Get your EQ written.
Oh, crap. All right, let me know when we're good to keep moving, once you have the EQ written.
Do you need to come up to the front so you can just turn around and stare at it the whole time?
No. Could have been the TV Is that guy gonna come back? Watch you teach again? Oh, you look funny.
Next week.
He's scared. You look mean.
It does look weird.
Guys, you are on video.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's.
Stop. Enough.
I'm sorry for insulting your teacher.
Show it to me later. During class time, it's not time for that.
This class.
Are we good?
This is my favorite class.
Is it actually, or are you just saying that?
No, it kinda is. I don't like CCR, let's just put that on the record right now. I hate that class.
Guys. All right, let's do this review problem from yesterday. Who remembers what we're doing?
I don't want to do it.
Okay. You want to come up and do it?
We're solving by substitution.
Oh, I don't want to come up there and do it back.
You want to walk me through it? Okay.
So you put a 1 in front of the X, and then you put it over 1,
Okay.
and then you point 6, and then go up 1 to the right 1.
We start at 6.
And then up 1 to the right 1,
Okay.
and then down 1 to the left 1. And you keep going.
Sweet.
You can just put it above the graph, it's fine. Always. So we go through and connect our dots. walk me through the other line?
You just put a 1 under the -2, and then, is that supposed to be a positive 3?
-3.
Okay, so you have to apply -3 on the graph, and then down 2 to the right 1,
Good. Or,
up 2 to the left 1.
right, it says solve the system, so what do we need to look for?
Where they cross.
Where they cross. Right, so that is right there. We always write our answer as a what?
Ordered pair.
Ordered pair, so tell me what the ordered pair for this one is.
-3,
-3,
+4.
positive.
No. +3.
Positive.
Good, so we want a -3 and then a +3 as our solution, our ordered pair. Good.
This is easy. Kind of. But no, we can still read a sheet by some, it's gonna turn into super complicated. Is it
Our
gonna be?
graph is like smaller than yours, so it will be -3 with 2, so just put that instead. Or you still wanna-
Well, even if like the graph ended here, you can still put it above the graph.
Is this gonna turn into something really, really complicated?
No.
So it's gonna stay like this the whole time?
We're gonna learn something different. It's not gonna get more complicated, but it's gonna get different.
Sure, you always say that.
I don't think I've ever said that.
You said that it doesn't get complicated and it's got super
I don't remember
complicated.
saying that.
Huh?
No,
What?
no.
What'd you say?
I ain't said that.
Are we good? Anyone still writing? No? Okay. One of our favorite things.
Oh, wow. Music.
Oh.
The violins are for.
Alright, y'all take a couple minutes.
Fast.
See if you can figure out what each image is. Right, so you wanna figure out what the violin is, what the clef is, and what the note
Violin's
is?
4.
We gotta figure out the other ones. Keep working.
Violin 4.
On your own. Work it out on your own.
414.
Big ol' number. Your thing.
The frets. No.
Hi, okay, and I'll.
Okay. What? You just talking to yourself. No, I know that, but since there's 2 of them, I can do. What?
Think about your orders of operation. Think about your order of operation. It's all I'm gonna
You
give you.
do 50, so
It's all I'm gonna give you.
can't help me.
I did feel good in that.
I already know that.
Okay, I got
They shouldn't have any decimals.
Yeah, let's see. Switching there, I was right. I'm obviously doing it. That's my right.
What do you do?
What was my?
Think about your order of operation.
I just tried that.
So not just left to right, think about what you, in what order you do operations.
You do multiplication.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
What times 4 plus 5? What times
Does
what?
it seem from there?
Plus 1 times 4 plus 110.
That's like two of that, one each one has.
4.
You have two of them. So two of them is 14, whereas one was
It's, I got it. Ah, I got it.
So each one of these is 7.
Nice. CT.
Ah. So is this the same thing as that?
But now you just, yeah, just two of them. Ooh. Good. Right, so you would use the same unit of uses.
It worked.
4x plus another x. Yeah. If you have 4 and you add another one. Right, because 4 times after 7 is 4x, which is good. If you have 4 x's and you add another one, how many do you have? So if you have 4 x's and you add another one, 5. So 5 of them equals 15. And 1 of them is. Wait, think about your order of operations. Switches.
Okay, this is right. This is right.
Order of operations. So, also, so 2 of these would be 14, so what would one of them be? 6. Okay, so you would multiply this with this would be 20, that would be from your right.
I mean, yeah, that's what I need to. I mean, to.
So, is this right? What?
Multiply it with 4, yeah. So there's 2 of them, so what would 2 of those be?
Okay.
There you go.
Was I right this time?
Well, you did 3 and this is 10, remember?
Yeah, we'll have some. Thank you.
I can bring, I can think whatever it is.
Deidre's going home, so her stuff needs to be done.
Y'all are learning, I guess I'll take it.
Alright,
Now we want y'all to miss out on the fun.
Use the fun.
alright, so I think everyone's pretty much on agreement on what our violins are. Each
Four.
violin is 4, right? Because if we know 3 violins is 12, that means each violin has to be 4. Mm-hmm.
Using those
10. So we want to make sure we're paying attention to our order of operations. So we need to multiply before we add. So we know our violin is 4. Right, so if we were going to write this as an equation, we'd have
4 plus 4.
4 times, right, we don't know what that is, I don't even use C, plus another C is 50. So if you have 4 of them plus another one, how many do you have?
Huh?
If you have 4 C's and you add another one, how many do you have?
5.
5, so we know 5 of our clefs would have to be 50. So each one is 10.
Oh, yes. Then the next one is
Right, so we know each one of these is 10. So if we have 2 of them, how much would it be? 20. So we'd have,
20 times 20 is 400.
right, 20 times 20 plus our 2 music notes
And those,
is 414.
so
Oh,
14, 2 is 7.
Right, so 20 times 20, that's 400. So we know those 2 notes would have to give us our 14, which means each one is 7.
So smart.
Mm-hmm. So then we have our 7 plus 2 notes, so what's 2 and
20.
times our violin of 4, right? Order of operations, we gotta multiply before we add. So what's 20 times 4?
80.
80
Yeah.
plus 7 gives us
87.
87. Wow.
We actually, I was
Fun.
about to say we actually won.
I think a hand probably wants something to do.
Okay, let's keep moving. So, we're gonna go back to what we did first, right? We did a review from yesterday, we solved that system.
Mhm.
We got a solution of -3, 3. Taking that same system, I want you to solve it without graphing it. I want you to try and solve it without graphing it.
How do you do that?
I want you to see what you can figure out of how to solve it without graphing your lines. So you should end up with the same solution of -3, 3, but I want you to figure it out without graphing your lines. We already found the answer. It's the first, well, it's the same problem that we did first, but I want you to see if you can figure it out without graphing it.
Oh, no, never mind.
It's like reading a movie. And that's not live. Oh, no, not really. 102.
No, the ordered pair is your solution, but I want you to figure out how to get that solution without graphing your lines.
You get your work out.
I want you to figure it out without graphing your lines.
How much you want to do?
Trying to solve it without graphing your lines.
How do you say you're shooting?
For 3 feet.
Yeah.
Since you got it like that.
Without
the
graphing.
section,
Just like just play around with it so we can kind of figure out. Guys,
$500.
guys,
Cause you got money.
Shut up, bro.
right?
And you.
Who's gonna I'm just gonna come stand right here. Guys, this is silent work.
There you go, Ellen.
Okay. There's that. Head up.
I'll do it.
Wait,
Yes, your answer is gonna be the same, but I want you to figure it out without graphing.
Oh, my fault. I swear I didn't mean to. I meant him in the head, my fault.
Get moved soon.
Wait, you only moving us because that counts?
No, I'm moving you because I'm trying to get y'all to not chit chat during class.
I like those feet.
Alright.
It's not social time.
You'll sell it.
Wow.
Wow.
You're not right.
Yo.
Oh, see.
Rick.
Yo.
So I like, I already seen that.
It's an Android.
Why'd you erase that?
Oh,
Oh, it's an eight.
Yeah.
I'm not
My
stupid,
God.
bro.
No, it ain't an Android.
do that.
It's a
Maybe you
Here.
like what you said, you missed someone's multiplication. I want you to see what you can do.
No, like I was thinking that like, since that's a six, you'd have to probably divide the 2 at a 6 with a 3. And that would be
Ricky.
Yo.
Turn around. This is not social hour. None of you should be talking right now.
Shut up.
I want everyone to be trying to work this out. Just try
You
something.
gotta do,
If I was shown what to do, then I could do it all.
That's the point. I don't want to show you how to do it. I want you to try to figure it out. You don't learn if you're always just shown how to do everything.
All right.
Sometimes you gotta learn on the job.
The only thing I did not learn without someone teaching me was how to freaking do it.
Show me how to add.
Oh, yeah.
How to add.
I saw.
Building shelter, that's probably the only thing.
So
I
I
did.
bet and then you gotta like trim, I mean add that.
Do the push-ups, I scoot up.
Then when
Guys,
I won't say it on site.
what's 6 plus 3?
No.
No, 8.
all 9.
Are we like overthinking?
I just want you to try something. You can do it in different ways, but I just want you to try and see what you can figure out.
I thought so.
I'll do it.
That's all. Finish on the rest of you.
Stay the zero on there.
Oh, I saw. And then since it would be -5, it'd be -3 equals positive. Well, it'd be x.
I tried,
And if you don't march
but
it,
I erased it.
if you don't march it, you get like a whole little suit.
I got, I had, we were doing the same way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Put it in like, I have one over
I was gonna tell you.
I tried not, and I just started, and I
Started off with the big piece. But you from varsity, he went, he said.
Do different
I'll go
ways so we
pick
can
one.
get, y'all are overthinking it.
I don't wanna mess up.
No person walk around wrestling say, "Yeah, we got this." Said, "Can no person wrestling say, walk around like this?"
I was getting my.
Who got the bitch Ricky? Brandon?
Help.
No. Wally.
I used to for right now. Bro, what am I gonna? What am I putting in? Well, it's no, he did not. Bring home and take your stuff like
Still big.
Yeah, like, not really.
Alright, Nathan, you wanna give us a hint on how you solve this one?
Well, you first gotta set it up, like x plus
Oh,
6.
Guys,
I used to not like me.
guys. I want this to be a fun place, but it can't be fun if there's disrespect going on in here. Disrespect is talking when I'm talking, or talking when I tell you not to. Right? If you want the respect from me, you gotta show me that you can give it to me also. Got it? I'm trying to be fun, I want it to be a lighthearted place in here, but it's not gonna happen if everybody's chit-chatting the whole class. We can talk about things, we can have conversations, but if it's about the math, not if it's about unrelated things. Okay? Yes.
We'd set up x plus 6 equals negative 2x minus 3.
Right, guys, if we know both of them equal y, that means they have to equal each other. Right?
Did we do this yesterday?
We did something similar with this yesterday, like when we were solving the business ones, right? If we knew both of them had a profit and we wanted to find out whether their profits were the same, we just set our two equations equal to each other. Right? Kind of like, I'm just going to use this as sort of like a loose example. So, right, me and Deja, we're both women, right? So if Deja's a girl and I'm a girl, in kind of a sense, we are equals. Right? If we're both girls, we are equal to each other. So same thing, right? If x plus 6 equals y and also negative 2x minus 3 equals y, that means they have to be equal to each other. Right? Because this y represents the same thing. They both have to be equal to the same number, which means they have to therefore be equal to themselves.
Oh, I
Right?
see. So then we just do it like a normal.
Right, then you just solve it like a normal equation. We're just solving for x.
Okay,
So we were overthinking it again?
A little bit. Just like yesterday, we were doing a little
So
bit of
this is just
overthinking.
like yesterday?
We're going to go a little bit, like this is just to give us an example where we already knew the solution to have something to compare to. Right, because if you go ahead and solve this and you get negative 3 for your x, you know you're on the right track. Right?
okay.
So let's solve this. What are we going to do?
I did minus x on both sides,
Okay.
and I got 6 equals negative 3x minus 3. And then I added the 3 to both sides. Which I got 9 equals negative 3x. And then I divided the negative by both sides. I got negative 3 and then equals x.
So in the ordered pair that we already knew the solution to, is our x negative 3?
Yes.
Yeah, we knew the x was negative 3, so we know we did that part right. Because we got the same x, so we're on the right track. Right? How do you think we'd figure out what y is?
You put it in.
Right. Does it matter which equation we plug it into? No, because we know they're equal, which means either one is going to give us the same y. Right, so if we take it in and we just plug it into this first one, we know y would be negative 3 plus 6. We're just taking the x of negative 3 that we got and plugging it in for the x for our original equation. So what does that give us?
Positive 3.
Three.
Did we have a 3 for the y in our ordered pair?
Yes.
So we know we did it right. It was. Yeah. How'd you do yours?
So what?
There's a different, yeah, you could do the solving equations in a different order. It doesn't have, like, there's not always one way to solve an equation. All right. So that method that we just did, that is called substitution.
Let me substitute.
Right, we knew both equations equaled y, so we kind of just took one equation and plugged it in for the y of the other equation. So then we solved for x, and then we were able to just solve for y.
Wait a minute. Why is this line right here? That's what we write, set them equal to each other.
So in order to do substitution, we need to have one of the variables alone or by itself. Then we can just take it and plug it into the other equation in order to solve for the missing variable. And we always write it as an ordered pair, unless it's infinite solution or no solution. We can't write those as an ordered pair. But as long as you get a number, you have to write it as an ordered pair.
Can I go to bed?
Do you have any passes left for the quarter?
So those will get our new ones?
Not yet, the quarter's not over.
So tomorrow we'll get them?
I think grades are verified on Thursday, so I think it's either Thursday or Friday.
Saturday. You got more?
Or stuff.
I'm so great.
We got like all of this in here.
Well, like grades are due today, but then we have to go through and verify them on Thursday to make sure
Did you write down
everything.
the bottom, like solve one, like, I woke up.
We still have stuff that we're finishing up grading, which is why we told y'all everything was gonna be due on Thursday, because there's a lot of stuff that we had to go through and grade. Make sure all your missing work actually